Let's see how this goes this time. Gratitude,
Divines and Divinettes.
It's BreiEndia, and it is still April, so I wanted to close out April after Ramadan and everything. Coming on here real quick to do my morning live for the particular color we are in for my for what I'm doing with the whole self-journey seasons right now, tapping into certain target words that highlight our chakra of the moment. So gratitude to you all. I hope you all have been having a wonderful spring thus far. And those of you who started off with me know that we went from tapping into the color black, into the color red, and getting into the color orange, and now we're into this color yellow. And this is representation of the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, the I guess the scents that you can tap into for the color yellow can be like frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood. You can always use sage for pretty much any scent that you mix with, lemongrass, things like that, you know, as far as the solar plexus chakra and how to get it activated with the sense of the smell, sight. I love flowers, so I like to, you know, highlight. As you can see, I got my sunflowers. Sunflower season. I love sunflowers. As far as if I had to choose like a flower with the color yellow, it would be a sunflower. And when it comes to me hopping on here right now, it's about to be, you know, going from night into day while I'm on here on this live. So gratitude train, night train, what it is. So yeah, when we do, shouts out to Florida water, can't never go wrong with it. I use the ocean Florida water, especially for this season. And the color yellow is just so radiant and abundant, but it's still a part of the lower chakras. And it's a very important part of the lower chakras because it is representation of the upper abdomen area when in alignment with the physical body and spiritual body. It's the abdomen area. It's the area where our power comes from. So the target word is power. And then, the target 3 words are power, peace, and purpose for when it comes to what I chose to target. It's a lot of words that can come to the point of the solar plexus though, because it's tied to our creativity as well, just like the sacral chakra. But the sacral is more about like gathering that creative ability. But when it comes to the solar plexus, that's more of like manifesting and enhancing that creative ability and using the power of self-empowerment to nurture it and evolve in it. So when your solar plexus is blocked, your lower chakras can be depleted because of the fact that this is your power source. And I meant to mention the element, because as we know, the root chakra represents the earth. If you're into, you know, zodiacs and everything, but not even just zodiac, but just in general elements and nature and things like that, when it comes to our being, the root represents earth and our grounding and everything like that, releasing, you know, fear, guilt, worries, and things like that that keep us down in certain forms of insecurity. But when it comes to the sacral chakra, the orange, that is the one that is the womb, the area that is, you know, lower abdomen, beneath the belly button, and basically our instincts come here. So when we have self-esteem issues, insecurities, issues like that, like I was just talking to a photographer the other day that worked with me, shouts out to 𝒮𝑒𝓁𝒻𝒥𝑜𝓊𝓇𝓃𝓃𝓎e, and I was just telling him like I have certain insecurities because we did a shoot and he's like, I don't want to edit these certain things, and I'm like, well, edit it because I don't like my fat nose, or I don't like that roll in my back, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, B, why are you insecure about stuff that I don't even see? And I was just like, I see it, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the self-esteem, and in general when I talk about self-journeys, your power has to come from you first. You can't call it power if somebody has to like gather it from other people and conjure it up from others, because it's not really their genuine, authentic power. They didn't create that. Hey, what's up? Little Brown Village came through. Yes, you right. You pop that fire out. So yeah, like I said, the element is fire. for the solar plexus. So that's so the root is the earth and everything that has to do with grounding and, you know, solidity and stability. But then when you get to the sacral, that's the water element. And you know, that's where we tap into our emotions and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable to them. Because when you open up that vulnerability to your emotions and understanding yourself in that way, you allow yourself to become one in accepting your power. Because a part of your power are your insecurities. So when you neglect your insecurities and you don't tap into the issues that you have with your self-esteem, you're neglecting that power that you need, especially if you're a creator and you know that you co-create with the divine to do the things that you do and to be the influence that you are or the job that you have, whatever it is. You need your power. You need that self-empowerment. So I just wanted to, you know, show my candle. I always light a candle. I love the fire element of my personal chart. I have all 4 elements in the top 4 of my chart. I'm, you know, grateful for that because once I learned my chart, I was able to understand more of myself. I'm not saying sit up here and play with fire. You know, I'm not about to sit up here and talk about Mancy. Although I love the discussion of Mancy, it seems like people are being more conscious of how they use divination or practices that are meant to technically assist people, but people have over time used it for their own personal benefit and self-gains, but not to assist others. So if you are either one of those elements that we've already skipped through this year and we've connected with on those levels, you can, like, if you're a fire sign, you can easily understand like certain things of, well, that's if you are like tapped into the power of what comes from that fire, that passion, that energy, you know, source. But like I said, I chose, instead of the word passion or, you know, patience, because I wanted to add those things to the solar plexus. I realized that power is the most prominent one because, like I said, if you don't have that comfortability with yourself and who you are, you can lose that power because of your lack in controlling your self-esteem and understanding your differences. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they call it a triple burner of the sand. Shan, was it Shua? How you pronounce it? I love Chinese medicine. I love everything about traditional Chinese medicine. Actually, when I lived in Taiwan, I still, even though, you know, Taiwan is the Republic of China, I still learned a lot about the foundations of Chinese traditional medicine. But I actually never heard about the triple burning. So thank you. Shouts out to Little Brown Village. I'm going to look into that. And just, you know, growing on this spiritual journey of mine. And the lower chakras have been a very main focus for me. In a few weeks, y'all will see me kind of put Sanjiao. Thank you. So it's called triple burner, or the Sanjiao is a traditional Chinese medicine, which they focus on, I guess, the solar plexus. Because I'm speaking from, I guess, the Sanskrit version. But at the end of the day, the chakras is a universal thing. So I'm going to look into that. I appreciate you sharing it. And back to what I was saying about the creative ability and the power for source. So when it comes to like your confidence, if you are lacking confidence in yourself or what you got going on, that can be an indicator that your solar plexus is blocked. Like I said, your self-esteem and then your inability to accept those things that you see as insecurities or flaws for yourself. And it takes time. I like to journal. I will always promote journaling. You don't have to be a musician or somebody who's writing movies to just sit down and write notes to yourself or write a letter to yourself. I write dear letters to myself, in which I tap into my higher self. I write to my higher self and I give her credit and confidence and love, because that's a part of me. And I look at that as the spiritual part of myself and balancing in this 3D portion of me. So when it comes to the sunflower, that represents for me a new beginning and a new outlook, major outlook, because in my spiritual journey, like, I understood once I reached a certain place of consciousness and awareness that my past always consisted of me being actively engaged on my path, obviously, but I took certain detours because of curiosity and free will, and just wanting to understand things outside of myself a little bit more in life. So I think I'm gonna start with purpose. So I'm just tapping into the 3 words today. I'm not gonna be too long-winded. Activated charcoal are good for blockages in that area. Cool. So I was given a tip to tell y'all that activated charcoal by Little Brown Village. Make sure y'all follow Little Brown Village. Activated charcoal is good for blockages in that area. Thank you for bringing that up. As well as I guess the ways you can use the activated charcoal. You can use it to perform hygiene too, actually, but because you can use that for your teeth. But also making like little teas and things like that. Like yesterday, I made a ginger honey lemon tea. Fresh ginger, fresh lemon, fresh honey. But I also added some chamomile and some other little herbs that I like to use, particularly because I was in a detox. Shouts out to anyone participating in Ramadan who is already a part of the Islamic community, and people who just practice fasting. I do intermittent fasting monthly, so I started that when I started my journey initially with yoga and learning how to become a yoga instructor. And the meditation and the fasting assisted my breathing and learning how to properly engage with my breath during that particular start in my season. And what I learned mostly was the pranayama. If y'all know another term for it, it's the fire breathing method, where you, for example, do 3 breaths of deep inhale and powerful exhale, like forceful through your mouth, like breathing fire. And the intent in that is to open up this area as well. So I encourage the practices of, just sitting with yourself in meditation when you start off in your day, before you put anything into your system, any intake or even output. Just particularly sit with yourself and do pranayama to open your core, because this is basically the solar plexus area when it comes to your physical body. So I'm telling you, like, I've been bloated from this being blocked. I've been just had cramps when I wasn't even on my cycle. I've had different issues with this particular part of my body because of the blockages in this area. The stress can really just put this thing in a whole box, and then you won't understand why you're not able to think straight. Your mind isn't right. And that's why I said bringing in the breathing part is attached to the fire, but ultimately also that appreciation of our breath reminds us how to overcome those things that keep us down when it comes to our insecurities and our self-esteem. So just practicing looking into those things and tying in the other chakras that we've already took steps through, because you want all of your work when you're healing to align with yourself and with your purpose in the divine. Like I said, the word right now I'm going to touch on out of the 3 is purpose first. And when we're finding our purpose, it really does lean on the stability of our core, of our solar plexus, and of this area right here in general. So when we are thinking of posture, right? If you're a person who slouches all the time, and this is just bare minimal basics about it. Making a tea with honey. Yes, making a tea with honey. That's what I was saying too. So yeah, when you sit with yourself and you think about your posture when it comes to meditating, everybody has their own way of doing it. But when you think about trying to unblock a particular area of yourself, the solar plexus area, when you're trying and practicing pranayama today, if you want to try this for your own session, or if you already do this, I would say lean into it, meaning actually when you meditate, if you're standing or sitting or you're walking, however you do your meditation, when you inhale, fill your stomach filled with air, right? And then when you exhale, you just literally blowing it all out, and then this should be flattening. That's the whole pranayama technique, and just doing it 3 times. I do prior to start my meditation, and I do it to close out my meditation. And I'm feeling this portion of myself while I'm meditating, because I want to feel this part of myself opening up. And when you open this up for yourself and your inner power, you allow it to manifest whatever creative abilities that you have been planning in your soul, in your sacral, right? For you to bring out through your crown eventually, once you get everything opened up. So when it comes to your purpose, your power and your purpose go hand in hand, because you have to be able to gain that self-power that you need. And that's the main word, even tied to SelfJourneyS right now. Going into May, it's going to be, you know, focused on the heart. But I didn't want to post during Ramadan, because it was just a matter of me inserting myself in the practice of it. And like I said, I was talking to the photographer. I mentioned to him certain insecurities, and it would help me to hear myself about those things as well, so that I could journal about it, take note of how I feel, and just literally give myself credit for acknowledging these things for myself. Another thing, however you journal, you can journal in your own way. Some people don't even literally write out what they feel. They might just tap into their own thoughts through their meditation or through just self-reflection. This year is big on self-reflection, in order to be able to have movement and create new activity or motion or whatever for your particular move, you know, whatever you plan, your plans. The dynamic when you do intermittent fasting, it allows you to open your mind a little bit. So like I said, I only do it once a month right now. I do like 24 to 48 hour water fast, where I don't eat anything for a period of time. But I start off the day before by not eating a heavy meal. I'll make my meal like a juicing, like I do a juice day, where my meals are juice. And then the next day I'll start my fasting, where I literally just don't eat anything for that whole 24 hours. But I make sure I get myself some water. And I've gotten to the point where I'm able to do it for 2 days straight. So it's comfortable for me. You got to do what works for you, and you have to gradually allow yourself to learn your body as you're doing this. That's the biggest part of why I tap into these particular target words when it comes to the certain, spiritual centers or chakras, however you want to label it. But they are our spiritual centers, and they align with our physical body in all ways. So when you think about your purpose, the journaling helps so that you can kind of do process of elimination of things that you don't necessarily need anymore or aren't into anymore. A lot of people, they'll go through a portion of life where they're doing one thing and they've been in love with that thing they do, and then abruptly their whole idea of that changes, or they don't want to do it anymore, or they want to change their career path. Some people don't find out what they're going to be doing till later, and some people know what they're supposed to do all their life and they don't get to do it until a certain point, but they've always been patient for divine timing. So I want to light this because I really like the way it smells. But it's a yellow incense. Like I said, incense aromatherapy is another good way to unblock your solar plexus chakra. And not saying that it doesn't work for all the others, but when it comes to the solar plexus, the aromatherapy taps into those senses, right? And allows send y'all some of that because it smells so beautiful. Oh my gosh. But yes, purpose. Tap into that. So that's the purpose. You can look into your purpose and what you understand your purpose to be. Understanding that the ego and the soul need you to have this open, because the ego thrives on the power of our solar plexus. When a person tries to tear down your confidence, they try to tear you down by talking bad about you, ignoring you, disregarding you, treating you like you are something that is less than what you believe yourself to be. That is an example of an outside entity trying to penetrate your your stability in this particular, in your core. So, hey Dash. So once you get to a point where you recognize when things are triggering you and bringing you down in your self-esteem, you can pinpoint that thing in that moment and recognize, oh, I get bothered about it. And then you can analyze it and understand it, process it, learn to accept that insecurity of yourself, and decide how you want to move forward with it now that you have the power over it because you know about it. And that's a part of the solar plexus as well, is just the knowledge that you get from your inner wisdom. So when you really have stability in your core, all of these things can open up for you. So now from purpose into peace. There's more about purpose I can speak on, but I won't, because we're all adults and there's so much that you can look into when it comes to, if you want to tap into the target words that I'm hitting on when I come on here to do a live about each particular element, area, color, and everything like that. But I love colors. I love everything about what the colors do for my energy. 𝒮𝑒𝓁𝒻𝒥𝑜𝓊𝓇𝓃𝓎𝓮. I hope you're having a good season in spring yourself, Cleve. But yeah, so purpose, now peace. So I want to talk about the peace, and then we'll talk about the power. The peace is a thing that I feel, because I don't, when it gets to this part of the solar plexus, when it gets to the solar plexus of the chakras, I don't really need to speak much about like our relationships with people, because when you have this intact, you will kind of like be automatically conscious about how your relationships are. You'll be wanting to understand your relationships, the dynamic of them, how they're affecting you, and how you are in them, how you're showing up in your relationships. So, okay, I got you. DJ Cleve want a beat. Make sure y'all follow DJ Cleve want a beat. He wants some promo. Got you. But yeah, so I'm about to be back on my wave next month. All right, let me know. You in Jersey, right? I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, because we be talking about like Baltimore Club, Jersey Club, Philly Club, you know, conglomerate, and that whole, you know, movement. And then just in general, like the club music movement. But peace. When it comes to me choosing peace, I was going to say patience, but I'm going to leave that for the love element, because you have that, love is a patient thing. When it comes to power, though, you have to have inner peace. You have to have peace in general and an understanding of what peace is. You have to know how to define peace. And my other friend, shouts out to Dope Mikey. He does my beats, has done my beats, and has been very consistent and persistent in assisting me with my music journey. And I appreciate everybody who's poured into me, as well as other producers such as my baby sister, Nisi on the beat, and Salt Real, a friend of mine since high school. So ultimately, when it comes to relationships, the solar plexus is about power. So there needs to be a dynamic where the people in your circle, you can evaluate them. It's a judgment season in general when you're trying to heal your solar plexus, because like I said, this is a time for you to boost your confidence, to have your self-esteem be resolved, and come to a place where you understand everything about yourself and you accept everything about yourself, including the flaws and including the things you once looked at yourself as, looked down upon your own self as for having. So relationships are important in a matter of utilizing them, not just for your own benefit, but for one another, knowing how you can pour into another person, using the power that you have, and then seeing how they're, and being able to see how whatever it is that they do, how you can be an assistance to one another. That's the power of connecting on a unity level when it comes to the solar plexus, because the sacral already kind of creates a sense of unity, and the idea of procreation and creation in general. But when we get to the solar plexus, it's the option to turn all of those things that we manifest below this particular area into a way to prepare to push it out, right, into the world. So the peace element is like I said, shouts out to Dope Mikey, because we were talking about peace and how sometimes people can get offended if you address them with a greeting such as peace and blessings or peace and happiness, because that is his thing he likes to say, right? So we were like, why? He was like, why sometimes do people get offended by this? Or why sometimes are people like confused as if I'm trying to be happy-go-lucky when I'm just literally saying peace and happiness. Because when you speak certain words, I mean, in general, the life and death, there's life and death in the power of the tongue, not just to sound biblical, but in general, that's the truth, even in laws of cause and effect and so forth. So people who learn and study laws of power and understand, even if you read the book, Laws of Power, you know the basic foundations of power and how important it is to have peace within yourself in order to create a non-distorted form of power for yourself and how you present yourself to the world as well. And with that being the fire of the element, it's like, you know, people who are open in their solar plexus, you can see it in their aura. You can see it in how they walk, how they speak, how they carry themselves, and how they feel about themselves is shown through their display to the world. And that's because they have this inner peace. And the inner peace comes from the inner knowing. The knowing of your being, the knowing of your purpose, and the knowing of your power. And the confidence of accepting your power, and not in an egoistic or boastful way, but in a way where you want people to understand the greatness of our being, of being a human, and being willing and able to, not even just willing, but being able to create things for yourself if you choose to engage in the path of your own journeys. So when you ignore your self journeys, you do lose your power, because you're giving your power away. We give our power away so much. And I might as well go ahead and jump right to the target, the main word, which is power. Now that I've touched on purpose and peace, like I said, when it comes to peace, it's something that you have to process and understand it for yourself. And if people can't receive from you the understanding of what you mean when you're bringing peace or you're coming in peace, you can choose to refrain from dealing with or associating with people who are not aligned with that higher frequency that you're trying to be on. Because even though our solar plexus is in the core and it's in the lower chakras, it's still important. All of our chakras are important. Even though it may be represented by a color, that does not mean to distance yourself from understanding that particular part of yourself and of the world. Because once we understand more about ourselves, we're able to tap into the world and have that sense of unity. So with the G-Self, with my pillars of self-journey, G-Self, unity, peace, love, and truth, we tap into the G-Self. You know, that's the God and Goddess within you, the higher self, and how you connect with and align your 5D, 3D body, however you want to label it, however you you look into it as being. So I do a lot of meditational prayer because of wanting to keep those things aligned, and I just like the comfortability of balance. So there's G-Self, the unity, we tap into the solar, the sacral, and that's the orange element. And I feel as though that's kind of just, you know, solidarity is kind of just cut and dry. Unity is needed between people. We got to get past this whole judging people based on age, sex, gender, the basics that come with our existence. Like, accept people for who they are. Like, I love my chocolate skin. I love my brown skin, however you want to call it. I've had people tell me, you're not dark skin, you light skin. You're not light skin, you dark skin. You brown skin, you this skin, you that. Look, I don't care. I love my skin. Love the skin you and just, you know, mind your business. Because at the end of the day, when you're judging somebody else outside of yourself, it's probably some type of insecurity that you have that's making you want to look at this person and have a reason to say X, Y, Z about them instead of embracing their differences on the behalf of your own individuality. You can't connect with people in a unified way if you don't have a connection with your own self. If you're not unified within yourself, it's kind of going to be complicated for you to unify with other people because you don't understand the basics of unification. Like I said, unifying your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul, or your spirit, and your energy. Those things are important for when it comes to learning how to come out of a rut or a stuck place in depression when you are trying to heal, those lower elements of yourself. And depression can keep you down so much when it comes to your power. So last but not least, drum roll, the power. Let's tap into it. Before I do though, let me read this. Okay, so Team Cleve, DJ Cleve on the beat is from Jersey, one of the biggest artists who people haven't heard as a club producer, and he's a DJ in all time, and big DJ in all time. All right, shouts out. I'm going to talk to you after this because I do a show, now that you brought it up, called I Am Who segment with my company 808 Tavern. It is a creators company. It is about entrepreneurs, creators, and artists, and not only unifying us, but putting us out there and putting us in a position to be able to know that we exist, not just for ourselves to connect with people like us, but for us to connect with people who need the services that we provide, who want to understand how to connect with us in whatever way that we are, whether we be an influencer or whatever it may be. 808 Tavern is all about the promotability of creators and connecting us, allowing us to network and bring ourselves together. It started off with my love for sharing the Black excellence around the USA, and particularly in the world in general, and especially in the DMV and my city, Baltimore. So we're just going to allow myself to just say I'm just bringing this up because I am about to get into the next part of 808 Tavern. I have a season 2 coming out this year, but I'm also trying to meet with a lot of different creators that are willing to meet with me, whether you're up and coming, you already are prominent, you're underground. I just want to connect with creators all over, and it's a mobile vlog podcast. So follow at 808tavern.com. Put that on here real quick while I tap into power. I'll pin it for you all. 808tavern.com, or you can just follow 808 Tavern on here if you on here. You can Google it as well. It's a growing company. I'm not open yet in a brick and mortar. It is only something that I am doing mobile right now. All of my businesses, I started off mobile. Even with my spa, a Dream Body Cafe, a Dream Cafe. I started off mobile. Meaning I was in my car going to my clients, performing a service. I didn't have a long, extensive list of clients yet for my cafe, for my spa, but I intend to tap into that energy again as I build and boost myself and my solar plexus, get myself out of my rut. I'm coming out of my depression. I'm healing slowly but surely. I take my time in this process of life. And as it comes to my self-journeys, tapping into my music art is a part of 808 Tavern and is a part of why I include other creators, because I'm all about the idea of community being able to be uplifted. We got to bring each other up, right? But it's hard to do anything for anyone else when you haven't done it for yourself. So tapping into the power element is the last part of this particular area of what I'm talking about. So power. I just feel like, in general, like I said, I've touched on everything that has to do with power. But you have to choose to, when it comes to your own power and how you gather yourself for power, you can do things like affirmations. Like I said, other than journaling, or even if you do your affirmations in your journal, do some mirror moments where you are, I guess call it mirror motion, where you're literally sitting with yourself, not just in a meditational state, but you're meditating through your own reflection, right? So when you do mirror, some people call it mirror magic, but I don't do that whole sit in the mirror and try to do beauty stuff. But it is the same when you think about sitting in the mirror and looking at yourself saying, I'm beautiful. Ooh, I am love. I love my skin. Just speak to yourself sweet. Talk to yourself nice. Giving love to yourself can be done in more than just taking a spiritual bath or, connecting with nature. It can be by how you literally connect with yourself. So the power of having a relationship with yourself is what can open up that self-empowerment, that self-power that is needed for you to release those things that weigh you down in your self-esteem and in your energy. When you wear certain colors, I will say it can affect your energy, but that's why you got to meet yourself where you are in your journey. And if you're in a relationship, you got to meet that person where they are in their journey. You can't try to anticipate that they got to hurry up and meet you where you at, or that you got to rush to reach where they are. Even in relationships, you still have to honor your own individuality. You have to honor your part, your role in the particular thing. A role is not something that is like an assignment that is, it is an assignment, but it's not an assignment that is like meant to hinder you. When you are able to identify the roles and positions that you take on in life, it becomes a beautiful thing, because you realize like, wow, I have been actively engaged in my life, but I haven't been like paying attention in the sense of like giving gratitude to the process. Just like I said, a greeting of peace and blessings might offend somebody. Just like I say, gratitude, divines and divinettes, might offend somebody. But I might get offended by somebody saying hello or good morning, because I may view good morning as something that is not necessarily a good thing to hear in the rising of, you know, the dawn. So how you view things. Hey, how you doing, Jay? Gratitude. But yeah, everybody has a different way of going about things. If you always get offended by other people's differences, that is a personal issue that you have with your own power, and also a lack in certain knowledge, because to believe that only one way is right or wrong is adolescent, you know, because there's too many differences in the world for people to act like it's a confused thing, you know. The main thing that we are the same in is being human, but when it comes to everything else, we are different. So it's good to accept the differences that we have about ourselves as a people. Other things you can do when it comes to enhancing your power, opening up your solar plexus, tap into, like I said, anything that has to do with the outdoors will always open you up. Find ways to see what pleases your senses. I didn't bring up food or things that you can put in your body other than fasting when you do get back on, you know, eating, or if you don't fast and you're just trying to slowly but surely transition into a lifestyle that accommodates your spiritual centers in a way where you're feeling yourself consciously be a doctor to your own healing journey. Understand that your diet plays a role in that. The nutrition and everything like that. Like, I noticed I was lacking certain things in my diet because I had thought that I needed to delete them, like certain carbs and, you know, foods that provide fiber. I wasn't eating enough of because I thought it was doing something negative or harmful to me, when in reality I needed my oats. I needed I needed certain things that, you know, provided me with that fiber so that my gut can receive and replenish, you know, in that area. So cello, gratitude rising, trade that. But that power can be tapped into by what you eat and everything like that. So I'm thinking of some like, I love squash. I love spaghetti squash. That is a yellow vegetable that I cook pretty regularly. Instead of, I don't do like flour based or egg based noodles as much as I used to. Don't get me lying, I got it in my cabinet still. But lately I've been finding myself at Mom's Organic Market. I love Mom's Organic Market, Whole Foods, things like that. But Mom's Organic Market is my store, okay? Anyway, they always have fresh vegetables and options and, you know, just different things that align with those more integrative health and naturopathic routes of, holistic routes of, you know, eating and just taking care of ourselves. So, like I said, spaghetti squash, any type of thing that has to do with that, bananas, lemons, you know, those are yellow foods I'm just naming. But there are other, like cauliflower is also a good one for the solar plexus. It's a cruciferous vegetable. It means it's a little gaseous, but you can, when you eat in fresh vegetables and you're steamed vegetables and stuff like that, sometimes after I do my fast, I'll only eat like a fresh steamed veggie, and I'll do like a fruit drink, and then I'll have my 2 bottles of water. I don't eat a lot, you know. I don't eat a lot. That's why when I gain weight, I know something is wrong with my energy or my spiritual centers, because I try my best to just be comfortable in my body. And so I've also, in the time that I haven't been on here, been working out, and that has been also boosting my power, y'all. Like, I'm not really big on like the gym per se, but I do want to get back into the gym. I like LA Fitness and gyms that have pools, because I love getting in the pool. It don't matter if it's wintertime, whatever. If it's a gym that got a pool in it, I will get in that pool. And if I'm near a beach or something, I will get in that water. I love doing the salt water cleanse and the ocean water cleanse. It does so much, you know, for the body. But ultimately, when it comes to the gym, I like to go when I've already taken the time to get back into a regimen by myself first before I go and get a gym membership, because so what I've been doing, I've been getting up kind of early in the morning, maybe around like 2:30 a.m. when I wake up. Instead of sitting and meditating, what I've transitioned to do is first I get up and I go for a run, because I'm like, I just woke up and I'm up now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, since I'm up, I'm not about to just sit here. I do acknowledge the divine, and I thank God for giving me life, but I also wake up by going outside and going for a good run. And I've been doing this now for the past couple of weeks. I'm not gonna say I've been doing this all of Ramadan, and I wasn't perfect this entire time. But last year was my first year doing Ramadan, and this year was my second. And I will say that I appreciate the community of the Islamic community, because spiritually, you can feel the connection to God through how everybody is tapped into prayer in those hours. You can feel the vibration and the energy of a fasting season, where people around the world are tapping into this spiritual portal. And it just was, I needed to focus on that. That's why during Ramadan, I just didn't want to put on anything when it came to my live. But I also, like I said, was slowly but surely training myself to become comfortable with the schedule that I had for Ramadan of not eating after sunrise and before sunset. So now that I'm back into a regular schedule, I'm noticing I still get up at like 2:30. So because I get up and I go for a run, and that has been good for me. Come back in the house, either I go for a run or I do the weight training first, but either way, those come before I do my yoga and my meditation. I use my yoga, I do vinyasa and asana and comedic yoga practices, about 10 to 15 minutes each. And I close it with my comedic yoga practice. And then I meditate to mellow it all out, bring myself back down. Oh yeah, before I do the yoga, I also do like a dance genre form as a part of like my workout. Like some people do Zumba and stuff like that. So I do the like I said, I wake up, go for my run, do my weight training, I do my dance session. Of course, I did my stretching before I started running, and then I do my yoga sessions and meditate to close it out, clear it up, bring it all in, connect with the divine. My prayer comes before my meditation, so I pray, I give thanks, I have gratitude, and then I meditate, and then I allow myself to journal. Then I conduct my hygiene, and I get into eating something that is accommodating to my particular season in that time. So like for now, the season I'm in now, I bought foods that cater to the particular season I am right now. And when it comes to what focus I'm choosing to lean into when it comes to my spiritual centers. And everything I've been doing when it comes to tapping into these spiritual centers and discussing Sanskrits of chakras and the views of different forms of medicine and practices that people can tap into. It's everybody, every area of life, and all different groups of people have their own way of connecting with the power that exists of being a human, being alive, and being just a part of, a particular species that is powerful in itself. So my day-to-day, like I said, now through this particular season of Ramadan, it's like I got on a track that I enjoy so much now that I've gotten active. Because it was a lot of resting, it was a lot of recovery, a lot of just relaxation when it came to me learning how to cope with depression. Because for me, it was a matter of learning how to cope with it. Then it was a matter of accepting it, not being in denial about it. And then allowing myself to kind of like accept the disorder or whatever you want to call it. And then once I accepted it, I accepted that it no longer served me, because that particular experience or life crisis, or the life crises that cause depression, anxiety, and things like that, I learn from them through the healing process of my shadow work. So when I do shadow work, it's that dark night of the soul I used to be very fearful of. But when you go into that root chakra area to heal those things and those fears and those concerns, worries and doubts, procrastination, laziness, whatever, when you get to that point where you are deciding to actively engage in healing certain areas that you know need your attention in order to heal, it's different from like generational cycles you heal naturally just by being a part of who you are, a part of the journey you are, and on the path you are, because we're all selected to do something in our family. But that doesn't mean that the cycle that we're breaking in our family discredits the cycle that another family member has to break. It's connected. You know, when you think about generational cycles, generational elevation, generational wealth and abundance, you need power for that. You need to understand your core. You need to understand your purpose. You need to understand how to incorporate peaceful elements into your day-to-day so that you can be consistent on the path that you're on and reaching the goals that you're trying to reach, and attracting the abundance that you need. When we have the power we need and fulfillment in our solar plexus, we do less chasing our dreams and money, and we do more attracting. You get what I'm saying? We do more actually achieving, more completing. Because in the process of healing, I like to meet myself at a point where I've completed a particular chapter or part of my healing journey. So that's basically where I'm going to kind of leave things. I'm not going to go too much more into the solar plexus. If I missed anything, you can all chime in. People that have been already connecting with me through the DMs, you know, we built a certain relationship through this social media platform, and that's cool and everything. I'm all about the shifts of the earth. I feel like we're in a point right now where the vibration of the earth is allowing people who are given a particular gift to speak out when it comes to spirituality, and have been spreading it so much through social media, and then connecting with people that are like-minded, but then also assisting people who need that encouragement, and who need to feel like, who need that understanding that they're not alone in the world when it comes to being uniquely designed for a divine mission or purpose, aligned with particularly like bringing people to a place of full consciousness and awareness of themselves and of the power of being a human. Power does not necessarily have to be looked at as a superficial thing or supernatural thing, just like Mancy and divination doesn't, because Mancy can be looked at as just a form of manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may be giving too much power to the idea of women using, you know, our bodies and vagina or whatever for sex. Like, that's an example of like sex magic, love magic, I forgot what it's called, the alluring thing, or like manipulation. Like, I just, as a personally, as a woman myself, I don't do what I do to feel beautiful so that I can get the attention of others. If a man wants me, that's going to be something that is his own power and his own control in trying to act on. You know, he could choose to act on it or not act on it. But ultimately, I'm not like forceful when it comes to connecting with people on an intimate level. But on a platonic level, even then, I'm myself all the time. So as being a person who's a giver of love, right, I try to keep peace in the bonds that I have with others, and not be so adamant about labeling what it is that me and a person has right away, because it takes time to identify what it is, what the relationship is that you have with a person. Because just because you connect with the opposite sex don't mean that it's meant to be we having sex, or we supposed to be like in a committed relationship or a long-term relationship, right? We can take our time more when it comes to connecting with people to understand how to work with that person in other ways. It was a video too that I posted the other day in my story. I forgot the speaker's name. I think he's an author, but he just basically said, like, he just hopes that someday men can decide to see women for our entire worth, and utilize our presence in their lives in ways where it uplifts the children behind us, the people in our peers, people in our generations outside of ours. It'd be cool if we can connect with other generations. That's another thing about power too. It's so much power in what you do and how you connect with others. Like how you think about a relationship with a person, it's gonna affect how that relationship happens and how the dynamic of it. So if you constantly are judgmental of another person and you have dislikes, it's like the power that you're given to the energy of hating this person is what's going to manifest, because that's what you tended to. But if you really want to forgive a person, like say as though they cheated or whatever, you got to truly allow yourself to be vested in your own power, to embrace the fact that they're human. None of us are perfect. We all do things out of our free will. We have the ability to do so, and we have the ability to choose. The only thing that I like is, when a person is able to be truthful and respecting another person's time, because our time is precious and our energy is currency. So don't be so careless with other people's time and energy unless you want to be taken for granted yourself. Because nobody's going to want to connect with you in a way that they see fit to uplift each other if they see that you're only if you're self-centered and your self-journeys are not to enhance yourself for the idea of connecting with people on a better level. You have self-journeys just because you're a selfish ass person. Some people literally are selfish people, so they look at self-journeys, me being a mogul of self-journeys, people look at that like, oh, she must be a selfish, self-centered person, and that's small-minded. But honestly, when people get to know me, they know, like, they learn about me on their own to make that judgment. I don't try to create a image of myself for somebody to choose to like me, because if you don't like me, you don't like me. Like, but if you got time not to like me, it's like, what are you actually doing with your life if you have time to not like somebody else? Like, you have a lot of time on your hands, and you're not really tapped into your purpose, your peace, or your power if you have time to be hating on another person's existence, or worried about their elevation, or even trying to find a way to disregard someone else's individuality out of your own personal vendetta against them, or envy or jealousy. Like, it'd be funny when people are watching you but don't want to really talk to you, but it just be stuff like that going on. Like, even me, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I don't be wanting to talk to people either, but it's like, I want to see you do well, so I watch your ass, but not because I'm trying to like be God or something and tell you what you should do. I don't really have time to figure out what's your purpose. It's up to you to walk in your purpose comfortably and stand in your power. Standing in your power is a big thing, though. The power of currency too. Oh, I wanted to tap into that real quick before I get off. The power of currency is crazy, because as we can see with all the things going on with money, like a couple years ago I had put something on here about, like, what would you be able to do how would you feel if money wasn't a factor? Like, and we all know that that's not happening anytime soon. But ultimately, it's like, how could you survive? And I feel like when it comes to money, it's not a thing where my relationship with money is out of greed. My relationship with money is understanding that it's an item and material of this world, like a lot of other items and materials and tools we use in this world. So if you treat money like you treat a crystal, or like you treat a book, or another sacred object, you can find yourself having a better relationship with attracting it, because it's not an objective or resisting thing where it's like, I need this money right now type of thing, where you just are attracting it. When you start attracting the flow of abundance in your spiritual element, like I always say, I'm royal in my spirit, I'm royally abundant, I have a well of abundance in my spiritual bank. I say that, and I know that, and I feel that, and I understand it, overstanding it, because when you tap into your bank, because you know it's there, and you try to, manifest it into your reality, it works. It works in your favor. Not on no like magic trick stuff, but like on some like you actively engaged and the workings needed to peel back layers that have been in the way of your success, or in the way of that clear mind view you need to take off from that moment. You know, like, it takes me a while to get to a point. Like, you're gonna see me post a few things in a couple weeks, and you're probably gonna be like, oh, she was doing that. Like, oh, okay. Like, because people probably think I don't be doing nothing. But I don't really share everything going on online, because, you know, that's another law of power. You know, your choice to choose what to share and being silent. You know, being silent is power in itself. When you just take time to just be with yourself and barely say much of anything, lean back a little bit, that's how you regain your power. But not if you're leaning back a little bit, watching others succeed and thrive in their power, but not taking the time to watch your inner self and succeed in your power and walk in your power. You got me, Night Train? You feeling me? So that's a big deal when it comes to your power, y'all. Just truly allow yourself to embrace that element of yourself. And another thing, like I said, with the money, don't see it as a thing that you're lacking. Like, see it as a thing that you already have. And that's what I meant by knowing I have a spiritual bank that's overflowing. See it as something that you already have, and start to speak it into your existence, and having gratitude for it with the divine before you even receive it. Because when it comes, it won't even be like a thing where you'll miss a beat when you come to thinking God, or thinking, you know, whatever you believe in your high, as your higher, you know, divine creator and everything like that. Just understand that having gratitude in general is a major piece in the charitability of our being and how we work with the universe. Like, when you work with the universe and you have gratitude for the universal changes and the shifts going on, people are awakening it right now to understanding how us being human and our planet being Earth, everything about this Earth is a part of who we are. It's a part of how we can evolve and grow. So when you think about, like, connecting with, you know, different tools. Like I said, money is a tool. If you look at it like a tool, you look at your spiritual body and your spiritual world as being completely what you want it to be, then you can learn how to manifest that in your third dimensional world. Take it from your 5D and pour it into your 3D. Take it from your higher self and pour it into your physical body, and allow it to shine through your real being. Because when we see the greatness of ourselves, it's hard to explain to the world or other people what we're trying to do when we find out that this is our purpose. But the moment you find out your purpose within yourself through the inner peace and the inner walk that you have, that happy inwards, it's for you first. That's the G self, because you have to understand it for yourself first in order to be able to walk in that purpose that you have for the world, you know. And when you meet other people who may be a puzzle to the puzzle that you're a piece of, which is always the bigger picture, you are supposed to know how to be yourself in that moment so that that person can embrace how to incorporate you with their self being, you know, with their greatness. When you bring a bunch of powerful people in a room, or a bunch of people who have a self-individual knowing and confidence and comfortability in their power and standing in their power in their own 2 feet. A lot of people that come together who are whole in a room is a powerful vibrating room, versus a lot of people in a room who are half full, or who are half understanding, or half-assed. Like, when you come to a place full of people that are whole, the power in that room is different and it's dynamic, and you become more empowered when you are filled with people in your space and energy space that are powerful as well and are confident in their self-esteem and their knowing. Gratitude, Crow. So that's another thing with that. And like I said, just analyzing and evaluating the people you associate with, not to judge them in a way like, oh no, I can't fool with you no more. But you really do got to kind of like give yourself the time to connect with people and be like, all right, is this a healthy relationship for me? And if it's not, how do I work with this person in a way where I'm not cutting them completely out of my life, but I'm cutting my energy back, because I need to make sure that I keep my energy up here for what I do with my purpose. You don't want anybody to take away from your power because of love or kindred relationship. and then tear you down from your purpose. Sometimes love can be a enabling thing, for example, right? Where your love for somebody is so grand that it almost takes away from the love you have for yourself, and it almost puts you in a position where you've not unified with a person, but you've invested in their path and purpose instead of investing in the purpose of y'all's connection. When we meet with people, it's not to deter our own purpose, it's to enhance it and to allow it to grow in other ways when we bring ourselves to a table of someone else. But when you have your own table, at the end of the day, you have to continue to build on that, and let it grow. Like I say, I grow my empire. I mean, like, my empire I can assist others. I had posted something in my story too about, like, don't waste time, like, trying to invest too much in somebody else's empire, because they're not going to do that for you. People have to take the time to focus on their own. And I don't view that statement as like a selfish thing, because if you're not in a position yet within your own place of being in power to assist others, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, because you're not there yet. If you know for sure that it's not that time yet, then just don't be wasteful of your energy and your power. Wait until it's the right time for you, and work with the divine when you co-create. If you're a person that understands co-creation, and you understand the power of co-creation, you will allow yourself to create with the divine, the plan and the path, and you'll execute it by the will of God when you give him the permission to push you and to assist you. But when it comes to co-creating, people don't allow themselves to co-create because I guess they don't like the idea of seeing themselves as a creator. It's like people overthink it in a way where they view it as a God complex, but it's not a complex. God made us so that we have our own God body, our own goddess energy, our own element of higher being, knowing and understanding and acceptance. So when you can't accept your own power, when you realize that you have it, that's a personal blockage that you have in your core. So that's what I mean by tapping into that purpose, that peace, and that power, and allowing yourself to stop resisting when you start to flow in your power. Your power is your flow. So, that's not saying that other people's flow can't intermingle with yours, but you have to know and understand how to grow and nurture your own power. Little Crow, you said, allowing people to naturally be placed in your life. Allowing people to naturally be placed in your life is to allow them to truly be in the space they're supposed to be in. People have a tendency to try to place people where they want them to be and not where they naturally are supposed to be. So the natural flow of a person coming into your life will let you know the purpose of that relationship or connection. We take too much time to worry about, all right, is this person somebody? We take too much time worrying about the label of the connection instead of focusing on the connection itself and allowing the connection to grow for us to learn what it is. We're not going to know automatically what it is that the connection is when we meet somebody. And then when it comes to me being a woman, I understand that with women, with this kind of like the matrix of like men being the hunters and women being the one waiting for the pursuit or whatever, like ultimately with that dynamic, right, you still got to understand that somebody at that point is thinking about what they want that person to be in their life. Like he just said, like they're thinking about, oh, I want that person to be my lady, not just somebody I work with in business. So then the dynamic of me coming to your energy will be you constantly trying to control or manipulate me into doing more than just this work that we came here to do, instead of allowing time and the divine to allow our flows to intermingle and then growing into whatever it is that we can be. It's like people try too much to have a stronghold on how this journey will go between the relations of other people. Like when we have our self journeys and we include ourselves in other people's self journeys, we do a lot of trying to put a label on what that bond will be, instead of allowing the bond to flow by the individuality of you and that person and that power that you both have. Because the power tripping, when you power tripping, it's like you think that your power is more abundant than others, or you're trying to compare your power to others or compete with powers that be, instead of embracing the nature of your own individual power, because there's different forms of it and there's different ways to use it. So when you're thinking about like personal intimate relationships, but then just fun platonic relationships, friends with benefits, things like that, right? Saying this power in me is not because of my vagina as a woman, but it's because of what I bring to the table. So when I meet with people, I don't like to abuse the power of like beauty, for example. A lot of women do that. We take advantage of just our ability to attract based on our look. And that's a natural thing, to be attracted to somebody physically if they're a beautiful person. Not to mention, if you talk to them and you like how they actually are as a person and they're beautiful inside out, I mean, of course, a person, I mean, you got no choice. If you love, you love. But ultimately, that doesn't mean then you need to try to control this person and make them be whatever you think they should be in your life. Like, it's not cool. So shouts out to Lil Pro for bringing that up. I like that you touched on that, because that's a real deal. That's a real problem, is people not allowing the flow of relationships to grow, and then understanding the dynamic of it later. You know, don't give it a label right up front, because you don't know yet what it is. You don't know the season or the reason for this connection. But when you embrace it and you allow it to flow, you learn from it, and you can grow into a bigger community of power, and not just an individual within a place that is powerful. Yeah, and that's how I see power. When you reach power for yourself and you reach that flow, I see it as something that I want to pour and give to other people. Like, to have power in yourself, to love your power, to stand in your power. I call myself, when I started my yoga journey, I called myself bodacious Bree. You know, what is it called? Excellent India. You know, exuberant India, whatever. Like, I be going in, y'all, when it comes to like just talking to myself and speaking to myself highly, but not because I'm trying to compare it to anybody else. I do that in my private time when it comes to my self-esteem. So, do y'all practices, y'all, every morning? No, I don't do live every morning. I'm just doing a thing where I tap into live, every, like, I guess it's been every month this year. So this is something I'm doing this year, where I'm just tapping into each, of the elements and different, and you know, tapping into colors and everything like that on the vibrations and frequencies of the season. And I'm using this time to kind of just be assistant in raising the vibrations of the world. We all are trying to reach a certain place of nirvana. So when I get on here, it's sporadic, I won't lie. But you and me already be talking, so you know, you can hit me up whenever if you just want to have like some mindfulness conversations. But I do want to start doing like mindfulness and mastermind conversations, where I'm talking to other people who want to be able to bring ideas together. I'm kind of elevating from just gossiping about people and talking about people, and on the level of talking with people about ideas. And I want to grow to a level of manifesting ideas and bringing bigger things to the table on a grander scale when it comes to the power of a community. It's more than just about me. When it comes to SelfJourneyS, it's more than just about my existence. It's about the SelfJourneyS of every person that is a part of a community, a part of a tribe, a part of life. If you're a human, you are already a part of a tribe and species in itself. But then there's tribes within the tribe of humanism, you know, and there's different types of groups. So I want to connect more. I want to do more mindfulness chats and more mastermind meetings. Shouts out to 𝒮𝓁. I will be connecting with him. If y'all don't follow him today. And also follow 808 Tavern. And anybody that you know is a creator, please refer them to me if you think they're interested in being a part of the show. Shouts out to everybody on my season 2 for the I Am Who segment, because it was just a pleasure just connecting with you all. Anyone who does music, just everything about season 2 was amazing. So, fuck with you, different. You're actually for the people. Thank you. I am. And I really do want to see us, like, have love. You know, I look at it like a family of families. Do that make sense? Like a family of families. Because at the end of the day, like, we all got our own personal, you know, circle. But then we got other circles that we're a part of. We have other groups that we naturally, you know, engage with. We have other people who may not be a part of a particular circle we have that we connect with outside of our circle, our main circle, you know. So ultimately, family with families connecting under the family umbrella is the idea for me. Even when it comes to 808 Tavern and connecting with different labels, I want to be able to see more. I want to connect with DJ Big for the coalition's DJs. I want to see, like, the potentials of creators being put on the forefront. It's time for that to start shining now more than we've been given it the opportunity to. But yes, I done ran my mouth, y'all. And that's so much more that I could talk about when it comes to power. Like I said, one day, hopefully I can have a mindfulness mastermind chat session where I'm podcasting on my MVP episode with somebody else on a high vibration. I want to have some kings sit with me and, you know, speak on the level of just the things that I see floating around on the internet, like tapping into some topics. I want to get into that groove, and I really want to connect with other people who have the willingness to discuss these kind of like intricate topics. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all be well. My incense is going down, so that means my time is running low. But I want to go ahead and send you all some positive affirmations for the day for yourself, as well as myself, as well as myself. So 1 second. What happened to my TV? Oh. All right. So to close out, heck yeah, we locked that night train. And y'all follow Night Train. It's spelled 9YTTRAIN. All right, and make sure y'all follow 808 Tavern, because all the creators that I connect with, I'm gonna be posting. And shouts out to everybody from season 1. I know y'all already thriving and grinding, elevating, going crazy. Shouts out to anybody that I've hit up and that has offered me the opportunity to sit with you. I can't wait to sit with you for my next couple of seasons that I'm about to record. Going hard this season. Shouts out to Shot by Nye. He's gonna assist me in being the cinema guy for my next couple of seasons. So, you know, the new people won't have a privilege of just being with me solo, because there will be a producer and a videographer there this time around for the next season that I do. But, you know, for everybody who had the willingness to be a part of season 1 and 2, I thank you for bearing with me, being patient with me in the process, in the beginning stages of my series, my small mobile series. And to close out, like I said, if you can do your pranayama and speak these affirmations to yourself, like I said in the beginning, pranayama is where you do your 3 power fire breathing breaths, inhaling, allowing your stomach to fill with the air in your lungs and fill it well, while you exhale with power and force. Each time you'll feel your mind opening up, and you'll feel that oxygen replenishing you in this AM. So some powerful solar plexus affirmations. We can speak: I feel calm, confident, and powerful. I feel ready to face challenges. I feel motivated to pursue my purpose. You can say those things to yourself. I just saying those because of what I see on here, but I already was talking about those words, confidence and feeling powerful. So even if you repeat it 3 times to yourself, you know, I am strong, I am confident, I am powerful. I am strong, I am confident, I am powerful. I am strong, I am confident, I am powerful. Or I feel strong, I feel confident, I feel powerful. I feel abundant, I feel radiant. You get what I'm saying? Like, speak highly about yourself and embrace the feelings you have for yourself, and then For this element of the solar plexus, it's I create. So it's I am is the root, I feel is the sacral, I do, and I create is the solar plexus. So, you know, I do great things for people. I do great things for the bigger picture. I do great things for the children. I do great things for the people. I create things that assist more than just myself. I create things that will bring us up as a people for the future. I create things that will uplift people who are not feeling well or in bad places around the world. I create prayers that will allow people to bring themselves out of their own darkness. I create spells that will allow people to work through the healing process of their soul shadow work in Dark Night of the Soul journeys. So I'm just speaking from the way that I kind of tap into my element of affirmations and what is it called, spoken word meditation. You know, shouts out to the people who understand spoken word meditation, where we are, you know, in a meditational state, but we're speaking in the element of the higher conscious words that will raise our vibration or raise that particular spiritual center, right? So practice that, y'all. I encourage y'all to do that if you got time today, even if you're working. It don't take no time to hop on your notes real quick in your phone and write down a few great things. And as always, speak something lovely and great and powerful to somebody else. Speak power in life into somebody else, just because. It doesn't have to be somebody you know, and it can be somebody you know, or it can be somebody you see outside today. But if it urges you to in your spirit and your higher self tells you to say something and let it be great, let it be love, and let it come from a place of your authenticity and your greatest spirit. And in conclusion, I'm sending you all love and light and G-Self Unity, Peace, Love, and Truth. This is BreiEndia with SelfJourneyS. I will talk to you all soon. Like I said, hit me up about coming on with me to sit with me on my small mobile series with 808 Tavern and the I Am Who segment. Send you all love and light. I'm trying to make sure I said everything I needed to say. Oh, I think we good. Y'all have a good day. Be blessed. And gratitude. It was a vibe tonight.